When a person gets sick, we know exactly what to do. We go to a doctor. But what happens when an entire city gets sick? Ancient cities followed simple, predictable rules, an invisible operating system that kept things running for centuries. But the Industrial Revolution crashed that system. Millions of people poured into urban centers looking for work. Almost overnight, massive coal-burning factories appeared directly next to airless slums. Families were crowded into tiny rooms, living without sunlight or fresh air. This explosive growth created a literal public health emergency. Diseases spread through the cramped streets so quickly that the city itself became the disease, killing its inhabitants. In 1867, a Spanish engineer named Ildefonso Cerdá decided to tackle this chaos. He approached the problem exactly like a medical doctor, analyzing hard data on the living conditions of the working class. His prescription for Barcelona was radical. He called for wider streets, angled corners, and open spaces to ensure sunlight and ventilation could flow through every block like fresh air through lungs. To describe this new science of spatial medicine, Cerdá had to invent an entirely new word, urbanization, or urbanization. Cerdá transformed urban planning into a clinical science. It became a practical survival tool designed to organize society and protect human life. As cities continued to grow, new city doctors stepped up to propose different treatments for the expanding urban organism. Ebenezer Howard proposed the Garden City. He aimed to cure congestion by building smaller satellite towns surrounded by nature, attempting to blend the best of the countryside with the city. Later, the architect Le Corbusier moved toward a more mechanical treatment. He reimagined the entire city as a massive, high-performance machine. He introduced zoning, separating the city into isolated areas. People slept in residential towers, worked in industrial blocks, and moved along separate transit lines. But this mechanical efficiency ignored the human scale, leaving pedestrians with very little room to breathe. These functional cures did solve many old sanitary problems, but they accidentally created sterile, disconnected environments that isolated whole communities. The side effects of the machine city became clear as local economies died out and social inequality deepened behind concrete barriers. The writer Jane Jacobs diagnosed these new issues. She challenged the mechanical view, proving that cities are actually complex, living organisms. Jacobs observed that cities thrive on mixed uses and short blocks. When people walk the streets and live near their shops, they look out for one another, creating a safe and healthy community. She shifted the focus of urbanism back to the human scale, showing that good design must foster community interaction alongside mechanical efficiency. In the modern era, social urbanism works as a specialized treatment for a city's social health, using design to mend neighborhoods torn apart by violence. Medellin, Colombia faced this challenge in the 1990s. The city suffered from extreme violence and deep spatial inequality, with its poorest residents cut off on steep hillsides. In the early 2000s, the local government tried a radical strategy. Instead of deploying more police, they deployed high-quality urban design into the most neglected areas. They used social acupuncture, targeted interventions to fix the whole city. They integrated a massive public cable car network directly into the steep hillsides, connecting these neighborhoods to the city center. They also built library parks, beautiful civic spaces that gave forgotten communities a place to gather and learn, restoring dignity to the streets. By treating the poorest areas with the absolute best infrastructure, Medellin proved that urbanism can directly heal social violence and help a city govern itself again. This human-centric approach is now a global consensus. The United Nations recognizes that equitable urban planning is the standard we need for a sustainable future. The UN's New Urban Agenda promotes the right to the city. It is the idea that everyone should have fair access to the benefits and opportunities that urban life provides. So, tomorrow morning, look closely at your own neighborhood. Notice the width of the sidewalks, the safety of the parks, and the transit stops. Our streets and parks form the invisible operating system that shapes how we live together. Urbanism is the evolving medicine we use to keep that system healthy and fair for everyone.